All right, so we are recording. We are going to go ahead and get started. So I know that I already said it again, but I'll say it twice since I was not recording. Tonight is our Monday night team call, guys, and we have the amazing Megan Davies on tonight to do, she's just going to share, honestly, her story, and then we're going to open it up for a Q&A here at the end. I am Val Bazo. Mel is flying to London right now with our team. And, we're just going to kick off and we're going to have a really great team call. So what I want from you guys is to type away in the chat bar, any questions that you have for Megan, because we are going to open it up, after she's done kind of giving us her story and all behind Clean Week and just who she is. We're going to open this up for the Q&A. And I will go ahead and, read questions. Megan will read questions towards the end of, the call when we do the Q&A section. So load us up with questions. We want to know what you're thinking, all this stuff. So we will definitely get to those questions after she is done. And Megan, I am going to hand it over to you and take it away, girlfriend.
All right. Well, hi, guys. Thank you so much for spending your Monday night with me. Wait, what time is it for you guys?
9 Eastern. It's 8 here. We're on time zone, so we're yeah.
Okay, so thank you for spending your Monday night with me. But usually I do start these calls by kind of telling you a little bit more about my backgrounds. I know some of you have watched the 20s and kind of know a little bit, but kind of diving a little bit more into it because it is a huge reason that, we decided to create Clean Week. And it basically all started when I was very young. I was the only kind of fit person in my family, but I kind of use that term loosely because I was the only physically fit person in my family, and I still had all of the bad nutrition habits that the rest of my family had. And we're just kind of like that standard American family trying to make like better decisions, trying to cut down sugar a little bit more, trying to eat more salads and things like that. But I saw my family go on that roller coaster of gaining weight and then losing weight. And whenever they would try to lose weight, it's like they were living off the salads, not eating enough calories, killing themselves in the gym for hours on end. And then, of course, they can't maintain that kind of lifestyle. So they end up going up and down that roller coaster again. And that's kind of what I grew up seeing, and I didn't really think anything different of it. And the only reason I was any different is because I was out working those bad habits. I was always the kid outside playing. I was in dance. I was in gymnastics. I was just super active. And when I got to be 14 years old, I decided I wanted to train for my first figure and fitness competition. And so my dad went out and got me the trainer. And if you know anything about figure and fitness competitions, it's like a lot goes into it. You need the bathing suit, you need the trainer, you need the entry fees and things like that. So he did all of that for me because he's definitely somebody who's like, I didn't have a lot growing up, so I want to give my kids all the opportunities that I didn't have. So when I said I want to do fitness competitions, it's like, well, we're going all in. So he provided all of those things for me. And a couple of years into it, I just started watching him and really realizing that, even though he was interested in fitness, he used to be an above level athlete when he was, in college and going into, in high school and going into college. But of course he got married, he had kids, he has, responsibilities and work, and he just stopped taking care of himself in order to give us those opportunities. And so I'm just looking at him at my show one day, and I said, Daddy, I feel so sorry for you. And he was like, you feel sorry for me? What do you feel sorry for me for? And at the time he was sitting there, he had a 42-inch waist. He was 47 years old. We estimate that he was around 100 pounds overweight, but he hadn't gotten on a scale in so long that we really didn't know. And he had, a slew of health issues. And that wasn't the reason why I told him I felt sorry for him. The reason I said it was because, like I said, I was watching him not live the life that he would want to live, that he was providing all of these things to me without taking the time to take care of himself and to get himself in a good, healthy way, and to do things that he loved. He loved weight training. I grew up with Arnold Schwarzenegger's encyclopedia of bodybuilding in my house. So it's not that he didn't like it. He loved it, but he just wasn't doing it. And so at that moment, everybody needs that aha moment. And that was really his aha moment. Like, okay, I need to take some time for myself, because I need to be able to do this too. So he had this aha moment, and in front of the entire family at my show, he announces that by the time he's 50 years old, in 3 years, he is going to be on that stage doing a bodybuilding show. And all of us are sitting there like, if there's anything we know about my dad, it's like, go all in or go home. That's how he does things. So it's like, we all know that he'll give his best effort, but we've also seen the roller coaster. So we're kind of like leery at this point. But the only difference this time was that we could work together now. I had already been working out. We started working out together. I was learning more about nutrition. We were learning about that together. We were meal prepping together. So now he had kind of like a support system at home where he didn't have that before. And so we started doing it together. And as soon as he started seeing the changes, then of course, my mom jumped on board and was like, okay, well, if we're actually doing it this time, like I want to do it too. And then my brother jumped on board, and we were all kind of finding the things that we love to do. My mom was more into dance. My brother was like out in the track sprinting. So we found the things that we love to do in fitness and kind of went with it. And my dad did get on stage when he turned 50 years old. I'm not actually usually in the gym when I do these calls, but his picture happens to be hanging on the wall right next to me, so I'll just show you. So that was him when he was 47, and that's him at his first bodybuilding show when he was 50. So he made this incredible transformation, and I got to go on stage and give him his trophy. And it was just like this really cool moment for us as a family of like this like pinnacle of success that like, okay, we all made this transformation as a family. And so we started helping family and friends at this point because people started asking us like, okay, your whole family did it. Like, what's the secret? And so we started training people like in the garage basically. And we would train people, we would teach like little like nutrition seminars, like, what are healthy fats, what are carbs, how much should you be eating, kind of things in our living room. And we were just doing it for free to help people. And so that got big enough that we started training people in the park and kind of doing group sessions in the park. And we even used to do P90X on Sundays. We would play it in the garage. And if we had like a really big group of people coming, we would just like stick P90X on and be working out in the garage with Tony. So it's funny how things like come full circle. But that went on until I went on to college, and I went to University of Central Florida. That's when I was on the UCF women's rowing team, and I also got a job at the Recreation and Wellness Center. And at first I was just a fitness attendant, which meant I wiped down sweat off of machines and put away weights when people left them out and spotted people when they needed it, until they finally were like, okay, we need more trainers. Do you want to get certified? So I was like, okay. So they ended up getting me certified, and all of a sudden it was like, wow, I can have this as a job. Like, this is pretty cool. And it's something that I absolutely loved. But of course, instead of going into that field, I went into health service administration, more of kind of the business end of the healthcare field. And I got a job after college, and then I sat and I worked at a computer. I went back home, and it was a fine job. I got, benefits, and I had a good salary, and I liked the people that I worked with, but it just wasn't what I loved to do. I pretty much hated the actual job itself. I was just crunching numbers all day. So that went on for a while. I would get up at the crack of dawn to work out. I would go to this job that I hated. I would leave there, and there was actually a small gym that I used to work at and kind of like manage. And that's kind of where I learned how to run a gym. And then I would get home from that at like 9 o'clock at night and start training people in the garage for free. But that ending portion of my day was like the thing that I loved to do. It was like the best part of my day, even though I was so tired by that point. But it was kind of what was keeping me going. So my family started talking about like, okay, we still have all these people in the park. Like maybe we should open up a gym, but it was always kind of like this one day we'll do this kind of thing. Until my dad one day calls me at work and is like, I kind of think I may have found the perfect location for us to have like a starter gym. And, I'm going to go look at it this afternoon. Do you want to come? I'm like, I can't just leave my job in the middle of the day, but I figured, okay, I'll at least go ask. So I went into my boss like, hey, like, would it be okay if I left today? And I didn't even give her a reason why. And she was like, okay, see you tomorrow. And I was like, wait, what? So I left that day. We went to go look at this place. And a lot of my decisions are kind of these decisions that I just feel like I'm in the right place at the right time. Like I know that I'm doing the right thing for myself, for the people around me. Like this is where I'm supposed to be right now. And that was one of those moments. And so I signed the lease that day. I emptied out my bank account. We put what little equipment that we had from my dad's garage into this little 1,000 square foot facility that was all lavender. The carpets were lavender and light fixtures and walls and everything was lavender. So we had to paint all weekend. And we had a gym by that following Monday. And then we were like, oh man, like what did we do? We have a bunch of people working out in the park for free right now. Who knows if they're actually going to come to our facility now? We have overhead. We need to charge these people now. And who knows if they're actually going to sign up and go on this journey with us. But they did sign up. And honestly, I think back and I attribute it to just the fact that just like what you guys do, you offer free challenge groups and things to get them interested just out of loving them and supporting them and wanting them to get healthier and lead better lives. And that's exactly what we were doing. And I think they saw that and they wanted to be part of this community we were trying to create and bringing people into our family and on our fitness journey with us. So it did. They came along with us on this journey. We started growing really fast. And we've had the gym for 6 years now. My dad is a trainer. My brother is a trainer here. I'm a trainer. And then my mom's like our office manager. And she knows Facebook better than I do. Like if I need something done on Facebook, I'm like, Mom, how do I run an ad? Like, and she like puts it all together for me. She does Photoshop better than anybody, like puts all the advertisement things together with the words and stuff. I'm like, I don't know how to do any of this. So she's absolutely amazing. And we get to work like together all day doing something that we all love. And it's just cool to see everybody from the community come in and be working out together and smiling and seeing positive changes, just seeing people's confidence levels boost. Like it's just the coolest part for me. So about 2 years ago, 2015, around this time, I get a call asking if I wanted to be on a reality show. And I was like, no, I don't want to do a reality show. And they were like, are you sure? And I was like, if anybody knows me, Beachbody has definitely taken me out of my shell a lot, but I'm an introvert. And if 2 years ago you would have told me that I was talking on stage at Summit, I would have been like, you are crazy. It never happened. And I would have thought that I would have been stuttering on stage and forgetting my words and sweating profusely. Like that's just very far out of my realm. And so when they asked me to be on this reality show, I was like, they're going to be filming me 24/7. I'm going to do or say something stupid. Like immediately all of the things start turning in my head of what can go wrong if I'm on a reality show. So I didn't want to do it. So they call me again a couple of days later. They're like, it's not going to be what you think. It's a really positive show. It's for this company called Beachbody. And I actually met Tony Horton. We had something at our gym the first year that we opened. And there was a production crew in the area that was just like, hey, we're filming something for Lifetime. We need somewhere to shoot. We need a small gym. Would you be interested in us coming in? And I'm like, my gym is brand new. It's going to be on Lifetime. This is great. So I said yes, and they ended up having a celebrity trainer come in who was Tony Horton. So once again, it's like I was doing Tony Horton's workouts in the garage. I met Tony Horton and spent the day with him, and he did handstands on everything in the gym and was like crazy. And I remember thinking like, this guy has the coolest job ever. And then I didn't think about it again for 5 years. And having those puzzle pieces, I was not making any sort of connections. So when they said, it's for Beachbody, I went, I don't know what Beachbody is, so I don't want to do a reality show. And it took the third time. The third time they called me, I was just like, all right, what do you need? And they were like, you got to put in these 10 videos, answering questions and doing some moves and stuff. So I was kind of like, okay, I'll put in these videos. So I put in the videos thinking there's no way in the world I'm going to hear anything else of this. And from that October to January, I didn't. And so I thought, I'm in the clear. I don't have to do a reality show. And then they called me at the end of January and they said, hey, we're moving you forward in the process. Sorry it took so long. And I was like, oh my God, like, why are you moving me forward in this process? But at that point, I was like, well, I should at least see what I'm getting myself into if I want to move forward in this process. And that's when I finally typed in Beachbody in Google. And of course, Tony Horton's face pops up. And I'm like, oh, the guy with the super cool job. Like, I need to take this seriously. So that's when I really like kind of started putting my heart and soul into it. Like, oh, I actually do want this. Like, and it's going to completely take me outside of my comfort zone. I was like, worst case scenario, I do something very stupid and it follows me around for a little while until people forget about it. So we're going to take a deep breath and we're going to go for it. And they called me up at the end of February and they said, okay, you're moving. We're going to have the final interview process live. You're going to at least be on the first episode of the 20s. And we're going to take 20 people out to LA. You're going to see the house that you'll be living in, and then we'll narrow it down to 11. So pack your bags for 2 days or pack your bags for 2 months. And my mom was like, are you being kidnapped? Like, what if this isn't even Beachbody? Like, where are you even going? And I was like, oh, it's a really long like scheme to kidnap me if this is the case. So I'm going to try my luck and assume it's Beachbody. So I went out there and they narrowed it down to 11 people. I got in the house. You guys can watch it on Beachbody On Demand. They're short 20-minute episodes, no commercials or anything like that. And it just shows kind of the process of us going through different challenges and things like that. And I met Melanie on the 20s because she was the judge in my worst challenge of them all. I was doing pretty good in all the challenges, and then they made me do an elevator pitch for Shakeology. And I was a little too like, Shakeology is great for you, like, woohoo. And Melanie was standing in the elevator, and none of the trainers on the 20s had anything to do with Beachbody before. So none of us knew who Melanie was. She's just standing in the elevator. And then at the end, they had like announced who Melanie is, and we're like, oh, and then I see her on Summit, and I'm like, oh. So it was really cool to kind of have that interaction with her and that time with her. And so we go through all those challenges. The only thing you may probably not know about the 20s is at the end, they narrow it down to 3 people. And they did not tell us who was going to win, actually. They had us all in a room sitting in complete silence. And somebody from Beachbody comes in, and we're thinking we're getting led downstairs to this big like reveal where they're going to film who won and Carl's going to announce. And she comes in, she goes, all of that's going to happen, but we're actually not going to announce a winner today. And we're all like, what? We're like, we've been filming for 2 months. We haven't left this house. We haven't had internet or TV or cell phones. Like, we've been cut off from the outside world. What do you mean you're not going to announce a winner? And they were like, well, we are going to film 3 different endings. 1 where you win, 2 where you lose for each of you. And so you're not going to know who won until we decide later when we air the episode. And I was like, oh man, like, we're not happy. So we did it that way. And that was April, like May, I think, of 2016. We finished filming. And so until like the summer, I couldn't even talk about the reality show. And after that, they started airing it, and people were messaging me like, oh, you must know who won. You were on the show. And I'm like, no, I really don't. So in October of last year, when they finally filmed the last episode or launched the last episode, Carl called me right before the episode aired. And I had my entire family there, and we had like my cell phone there, like, you know, with Carl on speakerphone. And I'm like, Carl, like, please just tell me. And he starts talking to my mom, and my mom's like, yeah, Carl, we're so excited, but we're so nervous. And he's like, well, you must be excited. You have the next super trainer for a daughter. And she goes, but we're so nervous. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, Mom, he told you, he told you. So that's how we found out. And then they aired the episode like right after that. And so after that, we kind of had to go very quickly into figuring out what the program was going to be that we were going to film. With most trainers, it's like, here's the new trainer and here's the program that they're going to be coming out with in X amount of time. But for me, it was a little bit different. Here's the trainer and we'll see what happens. So Carl and I sat down, and the workouts that I created for the 20s were very athletic. They had ladders in them, they had pull-ups in them, they had a fast pace to them. And so we were starting to think that something more athletic was the way to go. But then we really started talking about like what my passions were. And I started saying, you know, I really like to bring new people into the gym. Like I really like to pull people along on this fitness journey and kind of to teach them the foundations of what this is about. And he was like, well, that's perfect, because I've had this idea for a long time for a program that would kind of introduce people into Beachbody. And we also thought it was perfect because, you know, for me, I didn't know what Beachbody was. I heard of P90X and 21 Day Fix and Insanity. I knew of the trainers if I saw them, but I didn't understand what this umbrella company of Beachbody was. And I had my own misconceptions as a trainer for each individual program too. I thought 21 Day Fix was promising people the world in 21 days. I had no idea they'd do multiple rounds of it to get their results. I thought Insanity was meant to like dig people into the ground and make them throw up. I had no idea that there was a modifier and rest periods. So I had all these misconceptions that I had to battle, and that kind of revealed themselves during the process of the 20s, that I got to learn so much more about Beachbody and Shakeology and everything like that. But we thought that I would be the perfect person to kind of introduce people into Beachbody, because I did have these misconceptions, because I wasn't always just like, you know, gung-ho about Beachbody, because I had no idea what it was, like most people. So when we started talking about that, you know, Clean Week came about because we started talking about how I started in my fitness journey and pulling my family along with me on my fitness journey, pulling family and friends along with me, pulling neighbors along with me, and kind of just making this family atmosphere where they felt really included and kind of safe, and knowing that they were getting good information and moving forward in their journey. So that was kind of the thing that got Clean Week rolling. We talked about wanting to make them significant workouts. We didn't want somebody to do Clean Week and feel like they were doing the baby program. And I've gotten messages from coaches saying like, oh, I've been working out for years and I thought that this wasn't going to give me a good workout, but we really designed it so anybody can do this program and feel like they got a good workout in. We switched out the modifier for an intensifier. That came about because I had a group of Beachbody employees that came in to do my workout. I had just made it, and the modifier is really what made it a beginner program and made it accessible. So I had the modifier there, and not a single person in that room, no matter what their fitness level, would do the modifier. And I should have known better, because I teach classes all the time and nobody wants to do the modifier, especially for beginners. They think that they're doing less than, you know, the regular workout. And it's almost like a confidence killer when they do the workout and they have to do all the modified moves, because then they get to the end of the workout. And a lot of time, if they don't understand the concept of a modifier, they're like, well, I did the workout, but I only did the modifier, like that. And I'm like, oh, you still did the workout. Like, you still got a great workout, and it doesn't matter if you did the modifier. You can need the modifier. I need the modifier sometimes, but they don't see it that way. And so after it didn't work the first day, I was like, you know what? We're going to have a base move instead that's accessible to a lot of different levels. They can get in and out of the moves, kind of foundational movements, and then we'll have an intensifier that can pick up the pace. And so the next day we did the same thing. And at that point, did the base move, would go for a couple seconds, and then say, if you want to intensify, do this move. And then all of a sudden I had the people that were like, you know, already working out and ready for it. They went straight up to the intensifier. I had another group that was kind of like went up to the intensifier and would scale it back down as they needed. And then I would have the group that just stayed at the base move, and they were good there and they felt good about it. And by the end of it, nobody felt excluded from the group. Everybody worked at their level. Like, it was so much better to look at a sea of people like doing a couple of different moves and all working at their own level. Because afterwards, the first time I did it, my response was, this is crazy. This is too intense. It's like insanity. Like, I'm leaving. And they were all like going nuts about how it wasn't a beginner's program. The second day, same exact moves, basically, only the base move and the intensifier. And all of a sudden it was like, I got a great workout in today. I feel like I sweat. I feel like I didn't get hit by a train. And I feel really confident that I did this workout at my level. The people that were beginners and even did the intensification and went back down, if they were somewhere in between, they even felt even better about it. They were like, I rocked that workout. I did every single move. I intensified sometimes. And really that's what Clean Week is all about. I want them to be on fire when they get done with Clean Week because they feel so confident that they found a way to get their nutrition in every single day without it taking over their life. They found a way to get their workouts in every single day without it taking over their life. They had this little chunk of success that they can say, okay, I could do that for a week, then I can do it for 21 days. I can do it for, however long the next program is. Like, all of a sudden it becomes like, okay, I have these tools and I can do this. This is supposed to be a foundational program. So I also had people think it's supposed to be like a cleanse or something like that, or, huge weight loss numbers. And this isn't really a big before and after program. It's more for those intrinsic, success stories of confidence building and of getting their bodies moving again and feeling included in the workout program. Those are the things that I want to see, like I said, so that way that they're on fire by the end of the week. If they want to go into another week of Clean Week, or if they want to go into the next challenge group that you guys have, I want them to be excited to make that next step, whatever it is. What I don't want is them to feel like they were overwhelmed during the week with too many restrictions on their diet, with, too long of workouts, with whatever it is, too many things to learn. I don't want them to feel overwhelmed for the week, so that way they get to the end of the week and it's like, I kind of did the program. So this should be very simple foundational moves. The other thing I love about that is that it is kind of creating this baseline for them, because a lot of beginners, when they're just starting out, they tend to overcomplicate it, or, somebody's teaching them something and it's like way up here when they need to start here. And so they get overwhelmed. They can't keep up with it. Then they feel like they fail, and then they're just not going to do it at all. So this is more of, like I said, that little small chunk of success, plus it's setting that foundation. So if at any point along their journey they feel like, okay, I'm getting a little overwhelmed, they have that baseline to come back to. And it's not like this open hole that they just fall through of, well, if I can't do it all, then I can't do anything. They have something to go back to. So I've heard a lot of people talking about using Clean Week at the beginning of their month so they can, funnel them into their next challenge group. I've also heard a really cool idea, which was just, as far as the coaches using it, somebody said that they were going to use it as like a refeed or refuel week between like two programs. So if they're going to do 2 rounds of shift shop, they might do a Clean Week in between, just to kind of like have that rest week, but they're still moving, they're still working out, they're still eating healthy, and then be ready to be on fire for that next round of shift shop. So there's definitely a lot of different ways that you can implement Clean Week into your business, not only for the new people coming in, but for coaches as well, and for everybody. You should be able to work at this at your own level and still get a really good workout in. The nutrition is super simple. The meals were all kind of thought out to, if you did have to buy like spices or something like that, that it was something where you can use it a lot. Like the protein pancakes, there's kind of like a few things you need to buy, but after that, you have a good amount of materials for protein pancakes. You can use that for a while and get a lot of meals out of it. So it's not so it's supposed to be cost effective as well. And there's most of the recipes are pretty simple as far as their ingredients, so it should be cost effective anyways. If you look at the meal plan, there's like those meals up front, but also if you flip to the back, there's even simpler meals that are just like, hey, grill some chicken and put it in the fridge, cook your asparagus, put it in the fridge, so that way if something falls through, it's just kind of like grab and I still have my meal to go with. So it's showing them how to meal prep for the week. So I always talk about kind of 3 barriers that people have when they're going to enter into a fitness program. And that is a financial barrier, it is an insecurity barrier, and a time barrier. So fit barriers: financial, insecurity, time. And the financial side of this is that it's a free program. And I've seen some confusion about this. So the base program that should be the go-to selling point is with the Shakeology, because obviously we're trying to open up the doors into all things Beachbody. We're trying to show them that there's a nutrition side. We're trying to show them that there's all these amazing workout programs to choose from, and that they're going to have this amazing support system from the coaches. But you also want to introduce them into Shakeology at that point, because that's what's going to get them the best results. So you want that to be your main go-to thing, is getting them on that Shakeology and getting them into Clean Week. But there's going to be the people that are still hesitant. There's a million different workouts out there, a million different supplements out there, and they start getting over inundated, and they're just kind of like, well, I don't want to start a new program and a new thing and spend money on it again. So even if it's $30, I don't want to do it. You're going to have plenty of those people. So the other option with Clean Week is a completely free program. They just have to fill out the free profile on Team Beachbody. They're going to be able to access the workouts, and they're going to need you to share the meal plan with them online. So that's another option to get people moving again, and to show them that, you know, Beachbody is this legitimate thing. They're going to get so much out of it. So that way they're going to be ready to try the Shakeology and get the trial membership of BOD, next, basically. I saw some people saying like, oh, well, with the free trial, you get Clean Week. And I'm like, I don't know if that's only because they're trying to get them into BOD as fast as possible, or if they just misunderstand how Clean Week is available. So I would say get people into Beachbody as early as possible. And if you can get them into that free trial so they can, kind of see everything and do everything that they want to do, great, go there. But just know that there's plenty of people with those misconceptions and still with their, insecurities up in front of them that are going to say, no, I don't know what I'm starting into and I'm not ready for that. But the sooner the better you can move them forward is great. The insecurity issues, that's going to go away because, this is kind of a base level program, and they should feel really confident and comfortable in moving forward and seeing that they can do all the workouts just like we talked about. And then the time barrier is these are 30-minute workouts. It's not going to take your whole day. You're meal prepping for the week, so you should actually be saving time as far as your food and cooking is concerned. So Clean Week really was designed to kind of crush all those barriers and get people through the door to start on their health and fitness journey, because the hardest step is starting for these people. And then just leading with love and compassion, like you guys already do. Like you guys know that part of it. Nobody's going to have, great results if they don't have that person that believes in them. And so Clean Week is about giving them the tools, but they need that love and support to back it up, to feel like, okay, I'm doing the right thing here and I'm excited to move forward. What else? I think that's it for me. So if you guys have questions.
Yeah, that was seriously awesome. Your story's amazing. And the program, it's just genius. And I think that this is going to be incredible and just keep blowing up, because it's something, I love how you say we can incorporate this. It's not just like a launch. We're launching, but everyone should be super excited to kind of use this at the beginning of every challenge group. For me, I'm using it kind of like during my pre-season, my week before my challenge groups. I think that it's so amazing and everyone should be doing it. Guys, we are definitely opening this up for a Q&A. So I'm looking, and actually, Megan, can you see what they're typing in the chat? Okay, I'm going to shush it and you can answer the questions.
So the first question is, with the meal plan, are you able to substitute, for example, fish for chicken or apples for blueberries? Definitely. Again, Clean Week is not being very restrictive. So I think because of the word clean at the beginning, people are like, oh, this is supposed to be really like tight, clean eating. But that's really not what it's designed for. It's more designed, like I said, to give that foundational level. If you have people over, worried about, can I have the fish or the chicken? Then they're going to start taking stumbles a little bit. Okay. So they can have their coffee and they can have fish instead of chicken, and they can have apples instead of blueberries. All that stuff is definitely fine. The other part of that, when we're talking about substituting, is some of the moves in Clean Week. Even though it's supposed to be a beginner's program, it's still a substantial workout. And we do get down to the floor, and some people cannot get down to the floor. Injuries or weight issues, whatever it may be, they can't get down to the floor. So they can definitely switch out some of the exercises too. I'm going to be posting some videos about that shortly. But for example, if we're getting down to a plank in the video, they can put their hands on the side on their couch and kind of be at that incline to take some of their body weight off and make it something that they can do. So there's definitely a way for everything. So if you guys do have somebody who can't get down to the floor and you need help with modifiers, check out, like I said, I'm going to be coming out with videos. If it's not soon enough, you have somebody starting, just message me and I'll send you a video of here's 3 things they can do. Somebody says, I love that she mentions the different workout programs during the workouts. And that was a huge part of opening up the doors into all things Beachbody. By the end of the week, it's not kind of like, okay, well, now what do I do? There's so many programs involved. And of course, you guys help them navigate that. But during the workouts, they're going to hear the names of Body Beast and Sagi and Autumn and 21 Day Fix. So that way, at the end of the week, it's not so foreign to them. It's like, oh, well, a long time ago used to really love weight training, so that Body Beast workout sounded awesome, and maybe they go into that next. Or maybe you already have a challenge group going, so you're going to want to be like, hey, next we're doing 21 Day Fix, and you're going to learn about the containers. Whatever it's going to be for them, that's that next step is the way to go. What are the best go-to tips in helping people with meal prep? I always say keep it simple. Again, for beginners and even for me, if I overcomplicate things and I start spending hours in the kitchen, all of a sudden it becomes not fun anymore. And while, maybe chicken and asparagus and brown rice isn't that fun, at the same time, it keeps me moving. It keeps me getting through my week. I don't feel like I'm starving all the time by any means. So those simple go-to recipes, I think, are really the staples for people that are just starting out. Remind them that it doesn't have to be a gourmet meal every single time that they sit down to eat. It's just, a meal on a Tuesday. It's not that deep. So they can have their cheat meals whenever they have that planned. But I would say just keep it simple for people is the best way to go. I loved Clean Week, especially with being pregnant. That's why I love how you have an intensifier too. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I saw a lot of pregnant people doing the workout, and that's great. And the only thing I would say is sometimes we do lay on our back, which is not wanted after the first trimester, basically. So that would be the only modification you really need to make. Of course, talk to your doctor first and make sure they're cleared to do that. But if they're ready to go, they can use the modifier, intensifier if they can. And yeah, that would be the only kind of thing to be careful on.
Awesome. Anybody have any other questions? All right. Well, Megan, seriously, so thankful for you being on this call for our team tonight. This was awesome. And guys, shoot over to Megan's page and just say, thank you, appreciate your time and all that, because we really do. We put together these calls for our team so everybody can benefit, right? And we can learn about everyone we show up and we can learn about the new programs and the new products and all of this. So it was a great information call, and everybody got to meet Megan. So I hope that we all have a great night. And Megan, again, thank you so much for your time tonight. We appreciate it for sure.
Thank you guys, and yeah, feel free to message me. It might take me a day or two to get to my messages, but I will always answer. So if you guys have specific questions or need help with modifications or anything like that, like I'll definitely get to those questions and help you guys out. So don't feel, I have a bunch of people like, oh, is it okay to talk to you? I'm like, what? I'm a person. Like, you can talk to me all you want.
I totally get it. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you all have an amazing Monday night. We will see you next week. And Megan, thanks again. Have a good night, guys.
Guys, good night.
Bye.